Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to review this webinar on Precodes for the PSSAs. The Division of Assessment and Accountability, DAA, in collaboration with the Office of Data Quality, ODQ, are responsible for PIMS trainings, the attribution map, PIMS attribution rules, and all accountability reporting functions. There is contact information at the end of this presentation, so please feel free to contact us. Who submits data into PIMS? Any entity providing educational services is an educating LEA. Educating LEAs include school districts, charter schools, IUs, CTCs, PRRIs, APSs, and SJCIs. LEAs are responsible for ensuring that all students in grades 3 through 8 for whom the entity is providing educational services are assessed. Student demographic information is required for all students testing. To prevent hand bubbling information on answer booklets, LEAs must submit this data via PIMS to allow for the production of Precode labels and setting up test sessions. There are two templates, student and school enrollment, that need to be updated and uploaded in Collection Window 6 to make sure that the data passes the data quality engine rules. In order to submit the correct data, PIMS administrators must first identify the students who are taking the PSSA exams and upload them for this internal snapshot. These students should be coded with a valid value B or N for PSSA in field 212. This data is sent to the testing vendor so that LEAs can set up test sessions and receive Precode labels. It's important that PIMS administrators verify the data has been successfully uploaded by running the pre-snapshot verification reports. Final data must be updated by noon on the deadline on the elementary and secondary data collection calendar listed on the PIMS website. Please note that data cannot be corrected after the internal snapshot deadline. This is an overview of the PIMS process for the internal snapshot. The deadline for the Precode for PSSA exams is noon on the internal snapshot date. All internal snapshot dates are listed in the elementary and secondary data collection calendar located on the PIMS website. In the first of three blocks, the graphic begins with PDE sending communication to LEAs reminding them of the internal snapshots. Next, LEAs upload the student and school enrollment templates to PIMS. The LEAs then run the pre-snapshot reports to verify accuracy of the data submitted. Since there is no correction window, this should all occur before the internal snapshot is taken. After the deadline, PIMS locks down temporarily to take the internal snapshot and generate the data file that will be sent to the testing vendor. Once PIMS reopens, LEAs can run their snapshot reports and accuracy certification statement. This is an overview of the details we will be discussing for the Precode PSSA exams internal snapshot. It begins with the student in the blue circle, which includes the student's 5 matching criteria. The boxes include data about the student, including the student's demographics and school enrollment information. If there are any special characters other than numbers, dashes, and apostrophes, it will cause a mismatch in the testing vendor system, and the LEA will have to manually match each student. Data from the school enrollment template is used to determine the students who will be included in the internal snapshot. Please pay special attention to the accuracy of entry withdrawal dates, codes, and grades. Reminders: students must have an E or an R enrollment code prior to the internal snapshot date and not be withdrawn prior to the snapshot to be included in the internal snapshot. Also, ensure the student takes the assessment that aligns to the student's grade level at the time of testing. It is extremely important that you update Field 212 PSSA PASA Assessment. Enter B, PSSA, if student is taking the PSSA and needs a Precode label. Enter N for PSSA online test takers. These students will appear in the Precode file to DRC and can be added to test sessions if needed. Enter A, PSSA, or M for PSSA online testers if the student is taking the PSSA. There are no Precode labels, but the data will be tracked. Enter I, not participating, if the student is not eligible to take the PSSA or PASA. Special case. The IU is responsible for the students in the IU classroom housed outside the IU, even if that IU classroom is in a district building. The IU classroom will use the labels sent to the IU. If there are no labels, the student's booklist will have to be hand bubbled. The IU classroom students should be bubbled with the AUN of the sending district of residence school. The demographics for students are embedded in the Precode labels. If the student cannot be matched using the 5 matching criteria, the student record has to be matched manually to their test record by the LEA. Using student demographics can help LEAs identify unmatched students. These subgroups will be listed in your reports for verification. We use state, LEA, and school entry data fields to help identify full academic year. The date in these fields cannot be a future date and must be in logical order. For more information on these fields, please see PIMS Manual, Volume 1. The following fields will be utilized during attribution. Please review them for accuracy. Field 117, District Code of Residence, Appendix N of PIMS Manual, Volume 2. Field 165, Location Code of Residence, is also used during attribution. A student's PSSA ID must be reported to the testing vendor by only one LEA. When more than one LEA reports a student in the internal snapshot, the following rules will be applied to deduplicate the students. Please review these student scenarios and determine proper attribution. Here are listed a few more of PE's deduplication rules for attribution. Please watch the full version of PSSA Exam Precodes webinar or consult the Assessment How-To Guide for more details. Note, because all students in grades 3 through 8 must be assessed, if only an I value in field 212 is found, the student will be sent to the testing vendor and a Precode label will be generated according to the deduplication rules. Pre-snapshot reports reflect data loaded into production. They should be run prior to the internal snapshot date. The snapshot reports reflect data that was included in the internal snapshot. They should be run when PIMS reopens after the internal snapshot is taken. Please reference the elementary secondary data collection calendar for prior year and current year dates to utilize when running any pre-snapshot or snapshot reports. There are a few resources we would like to point out to you. On PAR's webpage of the PDE website, you can find information on Chapter 4, Academic Standards, PA's ESEA Flexibility Waiver, the Attribution Map, and trainings. There's a link to Future Ready PA Index website, which contains LEA data that the PDE uses to report state accountability. Lastly, the PIMS webpage is listed. The PIMS calendar, Assessment How-To Guide, and the PIMS manuals can be downloaded from this website. A list of contacts are provided if you have questions or need clarification. The Division of Assessment and Accountability can be reached at ra-pas@pa.gov. Please call 1-800-661-2423 to get assistance from the PIMS Application Support Desk. Lastly, the Office of Data Quality can be emailed at ra-ddqdatacollection@pa.gov. Thank you for reviewing this webinar for PSSA Exams Precodes.